everybody, welcome to the Jodie Emery Show. Today is Thursday, December 22nd, and it is the Christmas special edition. So I've got giveaways, of course, as always, but we'll get to that near the end of the show. First, an update on Marc. He has 929 days left to serve in U.S. federal prison. You can see the countdown clock at freemarc.ca. And we're looking towards January 10th as the halfway point when he's done the first half of all the time to serve and is starting the second half. So we're excited about that. It means we're getting closer and closer to getting him back here at home in July 2014. So go to freemarc.ca and check out his blogs, check out my videos as always, but you can see the daily countdown clock and you can get the mailing address to send Marc a letter. The holidays are the worst time to be apart, but we've been so fortunate to have lots of letters and cards and love being sent our way from fans and supporters all over the world. So thank you so much for that. We had a wonderful time here on the last weekend at the Cannabis Culture Christmas Party on Friday. That was tons of fun. We had the big fake fireplace television set on and food and Christmas trees and lots of people around having a great time. So you can check out photos of that on Cannabis Culture editor Jeremiah Vandermeer's blog, posted right now at cannabisculture.com. And on Tuesday this week, the 20th, we had a live Cannabis Culture Christmas special. It was broadcast from upstairs in the BCMP. I was there, Greg was there, Jeremiah, Dana Larson, David Mamalevine, Chris Bennett, lots of friends, Mick Man, lots of people were stopping by to say hi and have a happy holiday season. So that was an awesome time. And you can watch the video. It's not live, of course, but it was all captured, so you can review it, and that's at cannabisculture.com too. Recent news that's exciting, today's Metro, which is one of the 2 free papers in Vancouver, has the results of a study and another report that came out from Stop the Violence BC. I've mentioned Stop the Violence in recent shows, so you should know about them by now, but it's a new organization of academics, medical professionals, law enforcement, politicians, a lot of different people who are held in high regard who say that drug prohibition and marijuana prohibition particularly is a massive failure, causing far more harm than giving any sort of benefit. So another report came out today from Stop the Violence where they analyzed all of the government's own numbers on spending on the drug war and on the results of the drug war. And of course, big surprise, it's a lot of money wasted and nothing to show for it. So this massive article is describing that, and you can read about it at cannabisculture.com. A lot of news outlets in Vancouver and across Canada have covered it. But I was also pleased to hear about Angus Reid polling, talking to British Columbians and finding out that most British Columbians believe marijuana is far safer than alcohol. So that's a news story that's on the inside page here. And to be honest, I'm actually 3/4 of the whole thing getting some comments out about there. And I think this is really relevant right now. So I'm going to read you aloud what I had to say about this online survey. It found 59% of BC residents disagreed that marijuana use is more harmful than alcohol use, and 54% of BC residents don't agree that marijuana is a dangerous and addictive drug, and 51% say they don't believe it's a gateway drug. Well, that 51% are absolutely correct. So I was called up to comment on this, and here's what I had to say. Jodie Emery, wife of pot activist Marc Emery, said this new information proves that public support for legalization is growing and reinforces the need to end the current marijuana laws. The survey commissioned by Stop the Violence BC, a coalition made up of academic, legal, law enforcement, and health experts trying to legalize marijuana, was conducted from September 7th to 9th, 2011. Quote, "The science and the evidence are all there," Emery said. "You can't deny the truth, and the truth is backed up by evidence and proof. That's something the prohibitionists don't have. There's a lot more movement made on this issue and progress made in the world, and it's the Canadian government that has an embarrassing backwards model." She said that she doesn't think Prime Minister Stephen Harper would change his mind regarding the anti-marijuana law, despite numerous reports and experts saying that marijuana prohibition is a failed policy. Quote, "We're going to have to change the government," Emery said, because they asked me if we need to change the perception of marijuana or change the government, and that's an easy answer. And the final quote is, over time, everybody is going to be able to agree that the best way to deal with marijuana and drugs is to control and regulate them for safety and make sure that criminals aren't the ones controlling it. So that's the message that I had to say for them, and it was exciting to see 2 news stories today. Massive front page headline, like that's pretty eye-grabbing. And the cover of the other free daily has somebody smoking a joint. Really big shot of that. So we're in the news, people. We're all in the news with our cause for liberty and freedom and to end this insane prohibition. So keep it up. Get out there yourselves. Call radio stations. Write letters to the newspapers. There's a lot of ways that you can get out there and get heard. Attend community events at your local community center, or find out about events going on where you live, and show up with some information just to educate people about this very important issue. Now, Mark and I have been supporting Ron Paul as the presidential candidate for the Republicans, but hopefully as the President of the United States, because Ron Paul will not only end the drug war, get rid of the DEA, legalize hemp, legalize medical marijuana, pardon all nonviolent drug offenders, end the wars overseas, end the corporate bailouts, end the Wall Street corruption, blah, blah, blah. I could go on and on. There's plenty and plenty of reasons why Ron Paul is amazing and the best candidate, not just for our culture, but for anybody who cares about peace and liberty and justice. Now, Ron Paul is facing a bit of controversy lately, which isn't really controversy, it's just the only thing they can bring up against him, and that's charges of Ron Paul being racist. But I will tell you that Ron Paul's actions and words prove he is the least racist of any candidate. He's the only person who's going to end the wars that target the black people and other minorities of America who are filling the prisons. Now, there are a lot of things maybe said in these Ron Paul newsletters you may have heard of. And if you want to go Google Ron Paul right now, you'll see all this stuff come up. But those words weren't written by Ron Paul, and Ron Paul has consistently demonstrated for decades that he is the only one standing up for every American's right to liberty and freedom, and he's never said or done anything that could be considered racist. And if you want to talk about racism, let's look at Obama's own racist drug war against his own people, where it's a modern-day slavery, forcing 1 out of 9 black Americans behind bars to work at slave rates to produce war materials to go kill other poor minorities overseas. It's a horrible policy Obama has, and it's the same policy that every other Republican candidate has, and that's a policy of war and destruction that targets the middle class and the minorities and the poor and anybody who isn't in bed with the big wig governments and corporations that are causing so much trouble. So the point of all this is that Ron Paul is the only candidate who has consistently stood up against the terrible policies that are ruining so many lives across the US and the world every single day. And I encourage you to go to cannabisculture.com and freemark.ca to read Mark's blog about why Ron Paul is the person you should support. You can also send me an email or go on Facebook or Twitter. I've been having hours of debates and conversation about this issue, and I am convinced that Ron Paul is the only man who can save America, and I hope you will all get involved in supporting him too. He's likely to win the primary in Iowa, and that's going to be huge, and Ron Paul deserves your support, so go to cannabisculture.com and check out info on him, and just Google him yourself. There's plenty of evidence to show why he's the man who should be president. Now to our Christmas giveaway prize pack. Every week I'm doing a show giveaway of different sort of stuff from our store, and the winners of the previous one were free Mark items. This time around, people were able to get, there's going to be 2 winners, a Stonerware game pack. So we've got the playing cards, high roller dice game, cork coaster 4-pack, and the Pop Puzzle Fun Book put out by Cannabis Culture magazine. So these are going to be given away to 2 winners that I'm going to draw right now out of 20 some odd entries that I got. Now that wasn't as many entries as for the free Mark stuff. I know that's far more popular, but we're going to draw from all these names, and there are a bunch in here. I have everybody who entered is in this stocking here, and we have a little kitty cat here who's totally entranced by the stocking. So help me out, Joey. Let's pick somebody who deserves to win. First winner is Luis C. And the second winner of the Stonerware prize pack is going to be Kathy N. So Luis and Kathy, I'm going to be sending you emails and getting your info so we can ship that out. And next week's show, I'm going to draw 3 different winners for this prize pack. Oh, here comes the cat for the Christmas tree. But this is a prize pack that I think is pretty unique. When Marc first went to jail in 2009 here in BC, he signed 50 copies of the Prince of Pop movie done by CBC. This movie is pretty old at this point. It was following us during the extradition battle and covers Marc right before and up to 2005 to 7. And these 3 copies right here are the first, second, and third editions signed by Marc. They're numbered, they're signed with his slogan, "Plant the seeds of freedom, overgrow the government." And I'm going to send 1 DVD out to each person of 3 winners, and you're also going to get the free Marc stickers, because I love knowing that these are getting out everywhere. And free Marc buttons, so you can wear it on your jacket or wherever you want to put it and show your pop pride and your love for freedom. So enter this draw by emailing me, Jodie@cannabisculture.com. Say, in the subject you can say Jodie Show Contest or free Marc giveaway or any sort of thing that would alert my attention, and I'll put you in my folder and draw the names next week on my show. I just realized next week I'm actually going to be with my family flying home from Toronto that day, so my show is probably going to be a day late, or we'll figure out something along those lines, but I'll be sure to give you guys an update, and we'll figure that out. But thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all have great plans for the holidays, and for many people it is a very lonely, hard time. Everybody knows that around the holidays suicides go up, a lot of depression gets worse, because even though there are people celebrating being together with their family and loved ones, there's a lot of people who aren't, and a lot of people struggling, including many prisoners of the drug war, of course. It's so hard to be away from Marc at this time of year, and I'm trying to keep my spirits up by taking all your positivity and trying to put it back out there too. So even though it can be hard, there's always something to be grateful for all the time. Just the fact we can see and we can taste and we can breathe, that means a lot too. There's a lot of people who don't even have that. So if you're ever feeling down, just remember what you could be missing out on otherwise, and try and be grateful for what you do have, and work hard to prevent other people from suffering similar losses like I am and many others are from this drug war. So for your mission for the new year, 2012, let's end prohibition. And I hope that you all have a fantastic holiday season, no matter what you're celebrating, no matter what you're doing. Put a big smile on your face and just be happy to be alive, because it sure is better than the alternative. I enjoy your viewership. I appreciate you sending me your messages, and thank you so much, as always, for helping me to take care of my man, free Marc Emery. Happy holidays!